Christmas is not just about decorating trees or having Secret Santa. Let's know more from our special guest today, which is Miss Susannah Timothy. Do you have any particular instant that you remember from like Christmas, any of your Christmas holidays?
Yes, when I was in college and make new friends in college and they come to know, and I was the only Christian in the group. So thanks to Bollywood movies, they thought I'm going to throw a big party where there's going to be a lot of booze and there's going to be a lot of food. And they're like, kab aana hai na, kab aana hai that movie. And I'm like, for what? For what? So like, it's Christmas now. You'll have now something. I'm like, no, I think I was the biggest disappointment to them because thanks to Bollywood movies, there's this, it's like people drink, get wasted, and they eat a lot of food. I said, that's not what I do on Christmas. Until then, they really thought, and they took that also as a joke. They were really prepared till the 25th. And I'm like, no, there is nothing such happening. I'm going to church and I'm going to celebrate Christmas and then have dinner with my family. That's it. So that is one thing I remember because it was funny to know, that's what people thought Christmas is about, and they were eagerly waiting till 25th that I'm going to have wine and I'm going to have, even the cake is made of wine, even the food has booze. I'm like, who told you that the food is made out of booze and there's cake out of wine? There's nothing like this. So yeah, that's one funny incident I remember.
Because again, coming back to my research, I was expecting certain things that whatever I've seen on the internet, I thought that even somewhere down the line, something on those notes will be mentioned. I'm like, why isn't anything of these something on those notes?
It's funny that till date people think, if I make new friends, it still think I'm going to give them a box of rum balls. I'm going to have rum at home. I'm going to have wine at home and a party. It's like a New Year's party. I was like, no, there's nothing of that sorts happening at my home. So it's funny that people think that way.
Okay. Have you always been like a spiritual person since you were a kid, or eventually it got into you? And because I have been doing a lot of research about Christmas and everything, so what is actually written in Bible, about Christmas and everything?
Okay. So I was not a spiritual person right from childhood. My mom has spent a lot of time grooming us and introducing us to the faith. So we don't believe in religion per se, but we do believe in Jesus and we're spiritual. And earlier, Christmas was just another festival where we got ready and went to church. But over time, we understood the significance of it, or why we celebrate it. And as you mentioned, yes, there's no specific date mentioned in the Bible, and historians say it's around March or April. But there was a Roman festival that used to be celebrated on 25th of December, which was celebrated for light, known as the Festival of Light, something on those lines. And that is when some people, started celebrating Christmas on the 25th of December, because Christmas also symbolizes light.
Got it. So, according to you, I mean, when you started celebrating Christmas, however was written on the books and everything, spiritually, what changed?
So earlier it was just, it's Christmas, so mama's going to make something special. So it had to be the chicken or mutton. And, we'd go to church all well dressed. We used to wait for that time because we used to get new clothes during that time. And as kids, all of that fascinates us, And then we'd have special programs in church and carol singings. But over time, I understood it's not just about dress and food. It's more about celebrating and believing that a Savior was born to us, who taught us how to live and love selflessly. He gave his life for us and he rose up again for us. So understanding that significance, that somebody came for me, to die for me and to teach me to live selflessly, is what touched me.
That's very deep. Eventually, when you grow up, you understand these things. When you're a kid,
Right.
it's very difficult to understand such things.
True.
You are just fascinated by Santa Claus gifts.
Right. And at our time, we didn't really have the concept of Santa Claus.
Okay.
Few people here and there, but it wasn't something that we were very fascinated with.
Christmas.
Yes, and this term also comes from a person named Saint Nicholas,
Okay.
who was a very generous person. So that is how the term Santa Claus came into being. He was from Turkey. So it's not related to the faith or anything. It was just his generosity, and he used to give secret gifts to children.
Okay.
So that is how this concept came into being. But what I remember the most and what I miss the most is the carol singings that we used to have.
Okay. The Christmas music.
Yes, so we would go door to door and sing songs. It would like 12, 1 in the midnight, all of us kids. And since we're in India, we used to sing carols in Hindi, in Marathi, in English, and then we used to wait for the cakes after the carol because every house would serve you cake and juice. So yes, those memories linger.
And also, as I said earlier, that I did some research. It said that Christmas is celebrated for 12 days, I think, around 12 days. And we just know one day, that is 25th.
Yeah, again, I think it depends culture to culture. If you see in America, the preparations start right from November. Mid-November, November end, they've already started preparing for it right from Thanksgiving. That's when they start celebrating. So I think everyone's culture, it depends basically. But we usually celebrate it only during 25th.
Okay. As you mentioned earlier also, Thanksgiving, what we have seen is from web series or like shows. I'm mentioning Friends here because I've seen Thanksgiving a lot over there, but I just couldn't understand the difference between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Okay. So could you like tell us more about it?
Sure. Thanksgiving is not related to Christmas in any ways. And even we've seen Friends, and that's where we got the concept. As a kid, I've never celebrated Thanksgiving, but now when I have kids, we do have that last week of Thanksgiving, So we just take the time to have family dinner together, maybe speak something good about each other, be grateful for all that you have. And that is a significance, I think, and that's a good thing to have, at least you're sitting and reflecting over all the good things you have got instead of the things you don't have. So building that habit in children. So that concept I liked, and so I inculcated it in my home. I never did it as a child, but yeah, as we grow up, we learn new things. We like it. We implement it at home.
Have you read Bible?
Yes, I do very regularly.
Okay, and you want to share some insights or some things that really touched your heart?
A lot of it that I learned, and a lot of it has shaped who I am today. Okay, because learning about selfless love, learning about sacrificial giving, all of that has come from the Bible. Over time, as I've studied and I've learned, and it's not about religion. I think every faith preaches that. It's just that you need to find what you connect with, and that's what I connected most with. How do you live for others and be a reason for joy? In the life of others. It's so easy to just watch someone in pain and walk away, but to sacrifice your time, or like Jesus says in one place, if you have a pair of clothes, give one to someone who needs it. So there is a meaning between that. We like to buy so many things, even if we have it in plenty, but when the time comes to give away something, that really hurts. And I feel implementing those things in my life has shaped. And then working with kids, of course, this is a very natural tendency in kids. When you work with kids, you understand selfless love. What it actually is. Reading it from the Bible is one thing, but experiencing it when you're working with kids is totally different. So yeah, selfless love is something that really catches me, because it's very easy to judge people just by seeing what they go through and sitting and passing comments, but to be a part of their pain is something that I've learned over the years.
Understood. And talking more about Christmas, how it's celebrated, what is the culture at your place, and when you were a kid and now when you have kids, how has celebrating Christmas changed?
It's changed a lot. in terms of culture as well. I think there's a lot of Western influence also over the years. As kids, all we knew was 25th is the time we go to church, we have fun with friends, we enjoy carols, we celebrate something because the birth of Jesus gave us love, gave us joy, gave us hope, and we are there to celebrate that. Over the time, I think if you see even now, Christmas changed to Xmas, and then it changed to Happy Holidays.
Yeah.
So Christ from the Christmas started, he started fading away from Christmas, and that is what I feel has happened over the years, wherein the significance of the birth of Christ has somehow gone down. But at our home, we still celebrated the very same way. The entire family meets, my parents, my husband's parents, and all our children, our relatives. We sit together, we have dinner, we pray, we say a prayer, and we celebrate it with joy. Morning we go to church, all well dressed, and we enjoy that time, because it brings so much of joy, and celebrating that one person who we think has got life to us, has given us hope, it brings joy.
Understood. Again, talking about Christmas, how are certain things, like the traditions that you have at your place, that won't change? Like particularly if some people have some specific wine that they make and they have it on Christmas. Like some of my Christian friends have this thing. So what is at your place?
25th for us, morning service will never change. I think we always ensure that we do go to church, celebrate it with our church is like our extended family. We stand with each other, through difficult times. So celebrating that joy with them is a mandate for us. And post that, family and friends meeting for either lunch or dinner, that is something that doesn't change, that get together. Even if we may have certain differences, or we might have fought a day earlier, but Christmas is a day where we do come for dinner. We have gifts for the kids under the tree, and for each other the surprise gifts we keep, and so we unbox those gifts and we have a nice jolly time.
Understood. It's very like even hearing about it, I'm like very excited because as kids we have always just heard ki, okay, Christmas is Secret Santa Claus coming, giving us few chocolates and everything, but knowing like the actual depth inside of what certain things are done and why are certain things celebrated that way. Again, some people, there is a reason to everything. Like people have people going to church, or people having dinner together, everyone sitting together. So what is the role of like there is Christmas music, there is Christmas movie especially. What is the role behind it? Reason being because all these things come from Western culture again.
Right.
But it's just that they portray certain things, but we don't know the actual reason behind it. What is the reason of doing certain things?
Okay, so Christmas carols, I enjoy carols. The songs, all of it just speaking about joy, and we're so happy. Like we would sing happy birthday for any person. Carols is something like that, that the joy that the birth of Christ has brought to us. We go, we keep singing, and we wish everyone a Merry Christmas during that time. So it starts about 2 to 3 days prior Christmas. And I think that is why you said they celebrated for around 12 days, because 2 to 3 days prior Christmas, sometimes a week prior Christmas, people set out for carols. Now it's kind of reduced because of the restrictions we have, but otherwise, carols is a very integral part of Christmas actually, and they're very different than the songs and the hymns we usually sing. They're more of joy and love and light and fun. So yes, that's one part of a tradition. Otherwise, people meeting together, families get together. So that's a culture that again we see helps family come together and unite family and friends, and celebrate that joy, share that joy with each other. Coming to movies, I think there is a holiday movie that releases every December, and there's Grinch, a very famous character. So these movies also, I think, just depict the essence of Christmas, what Christmas is, and every movie will only tell you it's about giving, because that's what Christianity teaches you, about giving and spreading joy. So again, that comes from a Western concept, but we do not have a lot of movies releasing right here in India. So yeah, these movies tell us what basically Christmas is all about in different ways.
Understood. Then celebrating, decorating Christmas tree. How is that in your place?
We do. That's a fun part. Again, we never really did it as a kid.
Okay.
But as we grew up, we started taking joy in it, and we introduced it at our home. So my sister and I would put up the tree and would decorate it. Similarly, we started with our kids. So we asked them to be a part of it. How would you like to decorate your tree? What would you like to put up your tree? So, of course, there are a lot of colorful things on the tree, but we also add something meaningful to it. What would you want to add to it?
As if like
So last Christmas we got these little miniatures, and they had my children's name on it, and we had one for Jesus. It was not a picture sort of a thing, small miniature, just a cartoony thing, and they put it up on the tree because we celebrate Christmas for Jesus. So just so that they don't get lost in all the decorations and lose
just
the
a
meaning.
reminder.
Yes, they don't lose the meaning of Christmas. Why do we celebrate? Is not for the decoration, but that kind of brings joy in the process. So we let them be a part of it, and they are very excited about Christmas gifts under the tree. So we do that as well.
You have any core memory about gifts or Secret Santa?
I think the first Secret Santa I was a part of was when I became a teacher at Blue Ridge. That was the first time I played it. So it was fun, trying to guess who's given gifts. And there's a little joy in the gifts we receive.
Yeah.
At home, there are so many memories. Every Christmas brings a new memory for me, but yes, it's a joy that I see at the children's face. They get what they wanted, and even the little things, even if you give them a small toy in the box, it's so exciting for them when they open it up. And they also prepare gifts. So my kids also prepare cards, and out of their pocket monies or something, they may get a little gift and keep it there, just so that they understand what giving is all about.
That is so meaningful and deep.
And what I really love is at Sunday school. So I teach my children. So I take the Sunday school classes at church. So we have a Joy of Giving week, and wherein they get one of their favorite toys. Nothing new, something that they are emotionally attached to, and you have to give that to someone else, a random person, not your friend, not someone you deeply love. We have chits. We pick up the name, so a random person you gift it to, and the joy that we see, they've started, earlier it used to pinch them, but now there's a lot of joy. We have to go and give something of ours to someone else. So to imbibe the joy of giving has been the most meaningful part of Christmas for me.
Because as you mentioned earlier about Blue Ridge being your core memory of Secret Santa, even I remember that we had a Joy of Giving, and there were, I think, 31 people. So one had even teacher had to take part in it, like to make it equal. So everyone on that particular day, everyone was waiting for their gifts and everything, and eventually when I got it, I was so happy to like just. It was a fountain pen. I remember it was in fourth or fifth standard, and Shalmala teacher had given it to me. I felt so special because it was a teacher. I was so lucky that I got a teacher who was giving me a gift, and I was highlighted. Like everyone had eyes on me. Okay, she got it from a teacher and everything. So these are small things you realize later on, even at that moment, that it makes you so like it completely changes your mood.
True.
So these things are very important, and as you said earlier, that giving something that you have that you're very attached to, it's truly very deep.
Yes, and that's what I wanted the children to learn. So now I take care of around 60 kids under me, and all of them did that last week. Yeah, 2 weeks back we had it, and it was amazing to see them give away, even if it was a doll with all marks on it, but they gave something that was precious to them. One of them gave away his cricket bat.
So I remember in school when we had Secret Santa, the only memory again I have is the uncle who was used to work in our school. He used to come एक time पे ऐसे पूरा dress up होके they used to come, and then they used to give us chocolates and everything. And people, like kids were so naughty, they used to pull their beard or like cap or something. So, you have any core memories of you being troubled as a Santa Claus, or probably you being doing that to someone?
I've never been a Santa Claus, but yeah, being a I was in a convent school, so of course we had this part of celebration, and I very clearly remember it was Felix or Sabby, one of our peons, who would become Santa Claus, and we would wait for him to come with a sack and just throw chocolates, and we would catch, and again, then everyone turns into hooligans out there, just trying to catch the chocolates, pushing
They'll
everyone.
like step on you, they'll hit you, they'll
Yes,
push you.
especially the boys would get all excited, and I think the fun part was not the chocolates, but to see them being dressed as Santa Claus, knowing who it is, guessing, हाँ ये Felix ही होगा, हाँ ये Sabby होगा. So I think that was the fun part. And once you reach grade 9 and 10, then you have children teasing and all of it. So
Pulling their leg completely, yeah.
that was fun. Yes, school was fun.
But because I remember that for me, for the longest time, I used to think that Santa Claus is real. And I'll be breaking many hearts here. Some people who think that Santa Claus is real,
Yeah.
they're not.
They are not. They are not.
So, how did you find out? Because it broke my heart. I'm like, it's not. Because I used to think कि वो यहाँ पे नहीं आते, इंडिया में नहीं आते, but somewhere like where snow is there, they come with their reindeer and they give gifts.
No, I wish, but I think my mom always kept it real for us. So we never really had that concept about Santa Claus, and it was very real. We just waited for the 10, 12 days Christmas leave, because our church right from December 1 to 31st is packed with activities. Every week there's something or the other. We had fun fair, we had a harvest festival, we had everything. So we used to wait for that leave. So Santa Claus never really fascinated us, even as kids.
Okay, there were more interesting things.
Yeah, a lot of interesting things, even now.
Talking about church again, you mentioned. So, how did the whole flow of celebrating Christmas go on in church?
In how I started in my church, or in general?
In general, and also in your church.
In general, if you see, since Christmas started, I think everybody got into that festive mode, and over the years, celebrations have been changing. People decorate places, people have fun activities, people go for Catholics go for masses. We have a Sunday service. So I think Sunday service is a Christmas service is important all around. Everybody goes for the Christmas service. But post that in our church, it's not just limited to 25th, and a lot of churches around. December 1st marks the beginning of the festive season.
Okay.
So I think from the first Sunday of December till 31st, all churches are involved in some of the other activities, planning something new for Christmas, or planning something new for every Sunday that is lined up in December, having activities. Nowadays, we have churches also planning sports activities. They go out to play cricket, or they have their own sports festival going on. So I think December is a pretty busy month on the whole for us.
Okay. You have any baking tradition? Like in Christmas, people usually bake. Everything that is done, like even in Christmas or like any other festival, there is a reason why certain things are done. Like there is some practical reason. Like people eating meat in Christmas is because it is celebrated in a colder region where it's extreme cold.
True.
So to keep yourself warm, you eat meat, or like even having wine.
True.
Is because again to keep yourself warm.
Right.
So, what is the tradition of like baking? Do you like bake, or like how does it go?
So I've never been a kitchen girl.
Okay.
But since the past 2 years, I think I've taken an interest into baking and cooking, because I wanted to avoid buying processed foods for my kids. And so we started having whole chicken, the entire chicken. Now we don't get turkeys over here. At least I couldn't find turkeys. So the one whole chicken every Christmas, I prepare it for the kids, and my son loves it.
Okay.
So that is one thing we do. And since last Christmas, I started making the Christmas pudding.
Okay.
So we are again waiting to try the Christmas pudding. That is something we love, full of dry fruits, and it takes around a lot of time to bake. And then you just pour a little rum over it and just light it.
The one I think Ranti.
Yes, that one.
Okay, amazing.
So that's what we've started doing recently. But otherwise, whole chicken, yeah, we do ensure that there is a whole chicken at home, at least for my son, because he loves it.
Okay.
My mom is a vegetarian, so I don't think Christmas food ever excited her. But yes, for us it has always been exciting.
What excited you the most for Christmas?
As I said, all the activities, like December is so fully packed. Now we have a camp coming up, and then we have a ministry in our church for every age group. So the kids are going to have fun fair, and we have something for the elderly as well. So there's so many activities lined up, and that joy of just being together and being so active and doing something together is what excites me about Christmas. So yeah, coming together and being present in all the activities, being a part of it. So December is 1 month we don't go anywhere. My birthday falling that during December also is like just a part of the church, my entire birthday just celebrated there itself. So I think it's good to be with the entire church at that time, and everybody is so involved and active.
Like you mentioned earlier that you have this miniature of Jesus Christ and your children, like just to remind them that why are we celebrating this. So what are other things that you make sure that your kids have an habit of?
So a few years back, my dad, came up with this: Jesus is the reason for the season. Because when it started becoming Xmas from Christmas, so that was a reminder for the entire church, and that is something I keep with me, not to forget why we are celebrating. I don't believe in traditions, so I do not celebrate Christmas as a tradition. I do not celebrate also because I know that's not the actual date, but it's just any day, whatever day it is, I just know that there was someone born for me. And that is what keeps me reminded that of God's love. And I make sure to tell my children about it. Now my son is only 9.5, be 10 very soon, and I think he's way ahead of me spiritually. He's more connected to God than even I am. So just ensuring that when he reads the Bible, it's not my interpretation of what he understands, but what his interpretation is. So when he comes up with things, I'm okay. Like, it's good to know what you think about God, what you know about God. So to let them explore their own path. I don't want to enforce what I think about God over them. I would like them to figure out their own path.
That is amazing. So he has read Bible?
Yeah, he's on a continuous journey and he does his own research, and I don't really get into it. I just listen to what he studied. He makes his own journal entries.
Wow, amazing.
So, yeah.
And talking about people have the specific thing of going on holiday for Christmas. Didn't you have it like any time earlier, or what is the reason behind like people going on a Christmas holiday? If like because like for Indians, like Hindu, Diwali is a big thing.
Right.
So you don't leave your house. Reason being, you have Lakshmi Pujan.
Yes.
So when Lakshmi is coming, you don't leave your house. So likewise, even when you're celebrating Christmas, Jesus Christ is celebrated. So why do people go out on that particular occasion instead of celebrating it with your people or like in your church?
Yeah, I think that's again a personal choice. A lot of people, I think that's the only time they might get a longer leave. Their kids might get a longer leave, so they tend to go out. But for us, there's never been a Christmas vacation. We've always just been in the church, And my husband used to have this complaint earlier years of our marriage, wherein I cannot celebrate your birthday even once. We're just always in church. So I think the entire December for us is there. But for some people, maybe that's the only time they get to go out. And again, that's a very personal choice. As I said earlier, even on my own kids, I do not enforce my faith on them. I want them to explore their own path and find their own way. So similarly, I think each one has their individual choice.
Amazing. You have some core memory, like which like it was earlier different when you were a kid, and now it has changed a lot. Like as you told earlier about Christmas, that firstly it was all about gifts, and
Right.
now it is about faith and
Right.
all everything.
So earlier, as a kid, my core memory is during Diwali time on Lakshmi Road, there are shops like Shagun and such shops, and they would have sales.
Okay.
So my mom would pick up 2 clothes, one for Christmas, one for my birthday. So that was my core memory कि भाई अभी हमको जाना है and अभी हमको कपड़े मिलने वाले हैं, नए कपड़े. So that was fun. And then church activities was always fun.
Yeah.
Carol singing, as I mentioned. But now it's even deeper, because I have my children to teach now that what Christmas is all about. So ensuring that whatever we do has that meaning and not just limited to the month of December, but follow it throughout the year, like giving. I don't think it should just be a Christmas thing. It should be something that's followed throughout the year.
Absolutely.
So ensuring that we have that atmosphere throughout the year is something that has changed over time for me. Understanding the meaning that day I'm so grateful. Now I know it's not this specific day, but one day you came for me, Jesus, and I'm so thankful that you did that, and I'm so thankful that I found you. So that attitude has changed. Now new clothes don't excite me, and Christmas food doesn't really excite me. But being there in the fellowship and thanking God for being there for me is what excites me more.
Are your kids right now also like mature enough to like understand these things, or they're still like fascinated by gifts and everything? Because you said earlier also that your kids are way faster and like they have more pace in like understanding things and everything.
Yes.
So what is their take on it? Because today's generation just knows half knowledge, and on that basis, as you mentioned earlier also, like Christmas has become Xmas.
Yeah.
So for your kids, do they have full knowledge, or like whatever they are learning and they do more research, or how is it for them?
So their kids, so gifts do excite them. They're very excited with gifts and clothes and the Christmas decoration. They're already planning. They're behind their father, like, please start. And he's like, it's not even December, so just wait. But at the same time, they're very much aware of why we celebrate Christmas. As I said, my son has his own spiritual journey, and I haven't influenced him in any ways. It's his own journey. He's found his own path, and he knows. He's very much aware of why we celebrate Christmas. He's very grateful for that. In fact, there are many things that I learn from him on a daily basis. When we sit and discuss, we have this family time where we discuss of what he's learned from the Bible.
Wow.
And what I've learned. So we read a passage and he will share his understanding. I will share my understanding. They're totally different, but it's good to learn. So they are aware. They do research. Of course, kids nowadays are very smart. They know, they do research. My daughter is aware to some extent. She's still too young. She knows Jesus was born and we celebrate Christmas, but the depth of it hasn't really touched her yet.
Okay. I want to know 2 stories. One is you discovering Jesus on a very spiritual level, and your son, because it has been like a lot of generation gap. So how did you discover, like when did you start reading Bible, what happened and everything?
So earlier mama used to keep telling us, read the Bible, pray, read. So we would do it out of her pressure and being answerable to her. We didn't really know how to trick our parents in those days. But over time, I remember when my grade 9 was it was December 30th, I still remember, 2004, where I was touched. And I was going through a very rough phase. And I somehow feel grade 9 is a rough phase for everyone. There's a turning point in your life. And going through depressive phases. And at that time, depression, anxiety was not a very big thing. It was just stress, and peer pressure. But going through a lot of things and then understanding that no matter how people judge me, I was dark and I was more like a tomboy. So no matter what people spoke about me, no matter how they judge me for my looks, or no matter how depressed or alone I feel, I know that God is there. and he doesn't judge me the way others do. And then gaining that confidence to love and accept myself. So my parents were very instrumental in this. My mom was like my best friend throughout. No matter what, I would always go to her and pour out to her, and she would support me in many cases. So finding Jesus that way, in that lowest phase of my life is what changed me. And then once I took off on that journey, I never really turned back. And I come from a family where my mother's side are all Hindu Brahmins, and one of my aunt is a Muslim. So we are in a family where we come from different states and we come from different faiths. So I had the opportunity to explore everything. And to finally find something that, and my parents never forced, so to finally find something that gave me peace and gave me an identity of who I am and how I should be, no matter how people are with me. So that is something that touched me, the teachings of Jesus, more than religion. It had nothing to do with religion, it had just to do with the way of life. So that touched me, and that is how I started on my journey. In the case of my son, he's very different. He would prefer animals to humans. He's a very sensitive child, and he will understand. He will understand that maybe this person is not feeling so good. And I never taught him, but compassion was always inbuilt in him.
That is very deep.
And I've never seen a child. So for us, he was very special, because the way he's still very sensitive. You say something and he'll start crying. He'll feel bad. But he's like this with everyone. He would understand the pain of others. He would, and animals also connect with him. I don't know. There's something so different about him. Whether
It's
there is a
said that
cow.
when an animal connects with you and has a different connection with you personally, that is when you know that you are like very pure. Your soul is very pure.
Even if if there's a cow on the road, he'll go and pet. I've never seen any animal harm him. So he was always very different, very sensitive. So when he started reading, and he started reading at a very early age. Okay, so by the time he was 2, 3, he used to read Dr. Seuss and all. Very early age, he started reading. So when I introduced him to a children's Bible, and when he started reading and he started understanding on his own that this is who God is. God loves me and God cares for everyone, and I should also care for everyone. So that is how his spiritual journey kind of began. And then when he was the first child, so everyone were around him, my parents, my husband's mother, all of us, my sister. So he got a lot of knowledge from each and everyone. He's been a part of the church since a baby. So again, all of that has helped him be where he is today, and he is far ahead of even me, I would say. And I like to see him tell me so many things and research so many things. So that has been his journey. I started off pretty late, and he started off quite early.
Yeah, but I feel that every person has their own spiritual journey, is because it is written in your destiny that you have to go through few things. That is when you start believing, because earlier also you said that you were reading Bible because your mom told you to, but it's when you connected, when you actually were meant to. Because I personally feel that even like at my home, everyone used to say, no, you pray, you pray. I used to pray, I used to like just pray like how everyone did. But eventually when like life happened, things happened, that is when like my perspective on God completely changed. And I also understood that every time like whatever God you want to believe on, everything just comes down to one thing, that be kind, be thankful, be grateful.
True.
Just believe in whatever power you want to, so that you don't do anything wrong. The whole purpose is to not do any harm to anyone, to not do not support anything that is going to harm someone or going to probably harm you. So I'm actually very I don't know, I'm very surprised that your son started it at a very young age, and he's so mature and understanding everything. Because when I was done, I don't remember actually believing in God and understanding the whole story of why certain things happened and everything. Again, like for your daughter, and how did she discover, or like the whole journey, if you did not push it, what are the things that a person or a parent should do unknowingly to like make them do the right things, because eventually it's whatever power you want to use. Like even when you're putting them to sleep, you say कि नहीं नहीं भूत आ जाएगा जो भी है सो जाओ. So what is that one power you would want कि every parent should use to make their kids fall into the right path?
Okay. I love something that my dad did with us. He doesn't believe in religion. Neither do we. But he does believe in faith and having a spiritual journey. So everyone has their own boat and everyone is going in one direction. You know, some are going here, some are going there. But follow one direction. He's always told us that whatever you feel convicted, don't do it out of conversion or out of what people are saying because I am your father, I am a Christian and you also need to follow it. No, do it out of the conviction of your heart. You should know why you're doing it. Why am I going to church? If I believe in that, only then I should do it. Otherwise, superficial faith really, it's rather you do have no, it's better if you have no faith then, you know. And I've done that with my kids as well, not forcing them, just telling them this is what we follow. You find your path. And as my son found his own path, so now I'm guiding him. And the best way a parent can guide is by setting up an example themselves. I am telling my child to share and give, but I am being stingy and I am being greedy. My child is going to question me somewhere down the line. Now he's a child, so out of fear, he'll not question me. But somewhere down the line, when he grows, he will question, Mama, you never did it. You know, you never did it. Why are you telling me to do it? So I have seen my parents give our house has always been full since I was a kid. Taking care of families if they've lost their homes, taking care of young orphan girls and then getting them settled in life. I have grown up seeing my parents do that. And maybe that is why it has come down somewhere in me as well, you know, to do something good for people, irrespective of what they pay you back. Whether they look back to you, whether they come when you need them, irrespective of that, you just do your part. And when I saw my parents doing it, I am doing it. So as parents, we try to impose the life that we could not live on our children, but I think we need to allow them to learn from their own mistakes. We need to allow them to grow in their own way. They might sprout out of us, but they're a different branch.
Yeah.
You know, let them have their own beauty, let them fall, let them grow again. And I think that's very important as parents, which a lot of parents I see, and when I've been with kids, this is a struggle that they face. I think more than peer pressure, it's parent pressure. You know, my parent wants me to come first. That's why that competitiveness, you know, that if I don't come first, I feel bad. But I don't think my children even care about it. You know, it's just participating, have fun, because I think there's no pressure. Even in academics, I never tell them I want the score. You give your best and don't cheat. Whatever you get, I accept it. So I think we've never really beaten them for scoring less or never shouted at them for scoring less in some subjects or whatever you're good at. Just do what you're good at, find your way. Because we know what pressure does, you know, and nowadays children are so fragile. Also, I do not believe in gentle parenting. I believe in a very balanced way of parenting where my children are disciplined for actions like if they're lying, if they're caught stealing, then they are disciplined for sure. Academics, I don't really bother so much, you know, because they will find their way eventually. They'll become, being a good human is important.
Yeah.
For them to be a good human, I need to be a good human. You know, parents are so focused on what they want their children to be, they forget themselves.
That is true.
And we reflect, like a recent example where I've lost my calm and I've been screaming and yelling at home for some time. And my husband nudges me, you know, like, you need to calm down, I need to reflect. You know, you're telling the children not to shout and you're shouting at them. So we keep these little reminders in our family wherein we ensure that through our actions, our children also go the same way. So even if you meet them, they're really different. You will see that.
That is beautiful, honestly, because knowing that Christmas is not just about gifts, Santa Claus, and like cake and Christmas music, but it is much more deeper on the path where you have faith in some power. You do good for nothing. Like, you don't expect anything in return. You be kind, you do your deeds no matter
Yes.
what. This is like very deep, and it's not talked about a lot. And I'm glad that in this particular podcast we got to know so much more um, deeper level of what Christmas is actually about. So
Glad
thank
I
you
could
so
share.
much, ma'am,
Thank
for
you.
coming to our
Thank you for
podcast.
having me.
Thank you. Thank you for watching the podcast till the end. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, like to the video, share it with your friends and family. Merry Christmas!